We decided to come up with a natural disaster, and an easy one that could reflect that well would be a typhoon. Typhoons happen in Southeast Asia all the time. We had to come up with something that was a little bit less descript, and that's why I came up with the name of Islandesia. I didn't want to have anything that would be referencing either Thailand or another country where somebody in the back would say, hey, I've been there, I know what that is. It's too personal, but it still sets it in a relevant and easily understandable area. And likewise with the name of the town and the typhoon.
I'm reporting to you live from the village of Rangru, just 3 days after the killer typhoon Arlo has struck the coast of Islandesia, causing mass destruction, confusion, and sadly, even death. Many international emergency organizations are just arriving and rushing to coordinate their respective disaster relief efforts for those survivors who are desperately in need. I'm sorry. I don't understand. I can't speak. Over here! Help!
Relief organizations that are within the local national assets, or these are going to be individuals that have been come in, like Red Cross or Red Crescent or anything else like that. So these are the individuals that are going out and actually pulling in the casualties and helping out.
All right, so guys, drop back some debris off the building. I think she's in labor.
She's what?
She's in labor.
I know. It's gonna be okay. We gotta move her. Let's move her now. Go.
Relief organizations that are within the local national assets, or these are going to be individuals that have been come in, like Red Cross or Red Crescent or anything else like that. So these are the individuals that are going out and actually pulling in the casualties and helping out. That's what we decided to go with, and we would bring them to an aid station. Now in this particular scene, we have the patient has already been brought to our aid station, and we could quickly do an assessment on her. The assessment is going just head to toe, and wow, we realize she's very pregnant. And what happened is that in the storyline, she was at a scene, and part of this construction material, some of it had fallen on her. She can see, we saw her, she was actively bleeding from her head. But what wasn't readily conveyed, that it hit her belly as well. And that causes what we, in the medical side, is an abruptal placenta. The placenta on her had basically broken loose, and she was bleeding. And that was easily conveyed in the initial video, but not readily visible on our on-stage situation.
And I feel the baby moving, so that's good.
We initially go and do a setup on her, starting with IV, O2, and monitors. And that way we can just give a good first look on what's happening with her. We decide now that, holy cow, this baby is coming out, it's really going to be happening. And so we put her in what we call a lithotomy position and prep the fetus for being delivered. And the whole time, what was really helpful was that the production crew kept the sound going, making her scream. And that's really would be much more relevant in a real life situation. A woman's not going to sit there and pause. I mean, she's just totally freaked out. She's now naked and exposed, and she's having a baby, and she doesn't understand why. And so that was the confusion that we tried to convey.
Push, baby's almost out.
We're almost at 3 minutes?
Holy cow, I didn't know babies were this hard.
Yes, IVs are good on her left side.
All right. Well, she seems to be crowning.
Good job, go.
Oh my God, look at that.
Look at your
Oh my
baby.
God. No nuchal cord. Here's the anterior shoulder.
In real life, that's what we would run. We would run a situation dealing with mother and somebody to handle the infant. In our case, unfortunately, the mother, as a result of delivering the baby, now she's just going to continue to bleed out. So she is in a full hemorrhage, and it's caused her so bad that she's gone into cardiac arrest. We call it a VTAC, pulseless VTAC. And now that she's gone through pulseless VTAC, we have to work on her as what we call an advanced cardiovascular life support, or an ACLS situation. And now the baby is in what is a newborn, is now having newborn problems. Came out, it was floppy, had been probably through a lot of distress. We don't know how long she had been hit. We don't know how long this baby had not been moving, but it was coming out. So we receive a baby that was floppy, and now we're working on it. So now we have an NRP, our Neonatal Resuscitative Program event, and an ACLS event. So these two going on simultaneously give us a chance to show how Navy medicine can throw itself into it. This is demonstrating the teamwork that we do, and we practice this on a really regular basis. I practice this scenario at least monthly at our hospital, just so that we can prepare our staff for such an event, such an emergency. And amazing enough, those are the times that when you don't expect it to happen, that's something that really is going to go down. So we have had in the past similar situations, only controlled in a hospital setting, not too dissimilar to what these guys would actually experience. And so that's the relevancy, the aha moment for the learner, which would be our participants in the codes, as well as now the audience gets a chance to see how we work together. So it's holding a class and yet not holding a class. It's pulling the people together that we can actually share that learning. And on the stage, it was readily apparent that everybody was working together as a team. It was a level of controlled chaos, but neither side stopped on their process. No one had to say, I can't hear this or I can't do that. We incorporated the aspects of team steps. We incorporated aspects of how we can have effective communication without, and we're only a meter and a half away from each other without impacting either one of the scenarios. So that, I think, was a really clear depiction of how we can work together as a team. I see they're actually really doing really good compressions, and I heard afterwards folks had come up to our people and said, wow, we really liked your compressions, particularly Steve Dorman. They really liked how he kept going and holding it realistic, and yeah, he's going deep enough. And so we did have in the audience actual clinicians keeping that clinical eye, like, are they doing it right? Are they catching this right? And so far, everything seemed to pass muster with our peers.
Mona, do you want to take over? Okay, I'll secure the IV.
Sim Mom, in this situation, we had to manually deliver Sim Mom. In this situation, she doesn't have the new container that actually delivers the baby, so it was through a manual expression. And as I see it on the screen right now, you don't really recognize the fact that my hand was underneath her belly. So I felt that was really, really smooth. We also had our team prepare us equipment so that we had a fundus in there so they could massage the fundus and still keep the belly looking full. So I felt that was really relevant as well. I tried to get more blood hemorrhaging coming out of her vaginal vault, but it just didn't show well on the screen. And that's fine. Sim Newbie worked excellent. And I really liked the idea that we were able to showcase Sim Mom using a tethered monitor and Sim Newbie using the Sim Pad.
Does baby have any tone? Is baby moving?
No, the baby's not moving.
Okay.
Come on, baby. Stimulate under the back.
Okay. Be careful with the head.
Keep it up. Charge ready to deliver.
Those are ET2.
Deliver the shock.
Try tapping the bottom of the feet.
Continue CPR.
Oh, the blood's coming out back here.
Okay, let's check her heart rate.
I pulled our medical team, people that actually really do these processes. So I was fortunate enough to grab a hold of two physicians, one an ER doc. He's the one who ran the delivery and the subsequent ACLS event, and it pulled a pediatrician as well. Both this is their regular job, so I was fortunate enough to get them on their off day. So they were kind of donating some of their time to come out here and do this. They understand the importance of this process. I also got subject matter experts in both areas. So on the L&D ACLS team, I had everybody who were ACLS participants, an L&D nurse, myself as an ACLS instructor. All of my guys in there right now are all ACLS instructors. I felt it was important to have people who do this for a living rather than just somebody trying to wing it, because it would come up. It would be easy to see that it wouldn't be right. On the neonate side, I work with Kirsten May. Or Hayes, her name, Kirsten Hayes. She's the one who is one of my colleagues that holds together the neonatal resuscitative program. And I said, help me pick out the right people we want to have on stage. So together, pulling these people, contacting the subject matter experts made it right. So I have nurses, doctors, corpsmen, and the individuals that you see in the civilian clothes, we put those as adjunct workers. And sometimes you'll find that in a humanitarian effort, you would have military medical teams being augmented by civilian workers. Doesn't happen often, and these could have been other NGOs participating in this event. But we decided they were going to make them part of our medical team. And incidentally, all the individuals are either, like myself, a former naval officer, or these were former corpsmen. So they were very familiar with their roles.
Of the HSLTs that we can here.
I think baby's good.
Okay, bolus is complete.
Keep baby nice and warm so it doesn't get hypothermic.
11, 12, 13, 14.
Airway's still clear.
It's good CPR that you're giving there.
Keep it up, man. Keep it up. Keep it up.
IV's still in.
26, 27, 28, 29,
That,
30.
good. Wrap it up so he can't move his arm
Okay,
too much.
check a pulse. Do we have a check? Okay, good. Stop CPR. Let's continue to monitor. Airway's good still?
Airway is good.
Yeah, I would recommend this to anybody to come out here. It gives you a chance to showcase not only our profession, but how we can impact our audience. To me, I think having the sound conference allows us to start that discussion point. To me, I felt it was really relevant that we were able to, after we were done, we were like, wow, this is really great. But all the people that came up to us and said, hey, how about this? Or that was really great. That was a discussion point where we could start and moving on to the next level. So this is an initiation point. I can't say any more positive things about it. It was beautiful.